Welcome to the Bryce Canyon Tour. Yesterday my family went to Zion National Park, and today we're going to Bryce Canyon National Park. This is our first time in southern Utah, and when I say our first time, we're talking about me, my wife, my son, my daughter, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my uncle. My Uncle Mike came down from Oregon. Actually, my sister and uncle were here before, so they know what to expect. We don't, and we're about to find out. No, go and drop my phone here. Oh, this is cool, man. Holy crap.
Look at that. We can take that trail.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's beautiful.
It is. This is pretty spectacular. The Mormons got the best state. There's no doubt about it.
Dang.
I mean, I love Utah.
This is, wow.
Whoa.
I know, isn't that awesome? That's so freaking cool. Pillars of red, white, and orange cut through bluest skies. Erosion and rain constantly evolve nature's amphitheater. Find your way through the canyons, peaceful, stunning, and immense. That was my Uncle Mike, by the way, the greatest uncle of all time. So the first lookout we just saw there was hoodoos, that's what they're called. A distinctive rock formation in Bryce. Well, Bryce Canyon National Park in southwestern Utah is famous for the largest collection of hoodoos in the world, by the way. Bryce Canyon is home to horseshoe-shaped amphitheaters. Visitors can expect spectacular hiking, camping, endless outdoor ranger activities, and even a prairie dog festival. Because the park covers a vertical distance of over 2,000 feet, it exists in 3 distinct climate zones: spruce or fir forest, ponderosa pine forest, and pinyon pine or juniper forest. Bryce Canyon first became a tourist destination in 1916 with Union Pacific. It was then declared a national monument in 1923 and officially established as a national park in 1928. Time for some pictures. There's my daughter, and then you're going to see my sister. There she is, and my son. There he is, and then my wife coming in. There she is, and then, well, here I am. Let's get some real color. Let's talk about the climate a little bit here at Bryce. While sunny most of the year, the temperature and weather in Bryce Canyon National Park can be otherwise fairly unpredictable. From nearly daily summer thunderstorms to large snowstorms in winter, be prepared for anything. Visitors should make sure to check daily forecasts to see what this national park has in store for them on any given day. Hiking and camping are 2 of the most popular activities in Bryce Canyon. Camping can be done either in one of the 2 reservation-based car camping sites near the visitor center or by obtaining a backcountry permit for the multiple sites along trails. The variable ecosystems in Bryce Canyon creates opportunity for great biodiversity, including more than 100 species of birds, dozens of mammals, probably including some squirrels, maybe little fat guys too, and more than 1,000 plant species. Bryce Canyon's operating hours and seasons. Open today, 24 hours. Looking at their weekly hours that they're open, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, open 24 hours. Then I see closures and seasonal exceptions. So holidays, we're talking New Year's Day, open 24 hours, by the way. Birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., open 24 hours. Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and even Christmas Day, open 24 hours. So yes, it looks like every day of the year, it's open 24 hours every day. Per day. Every day. Got it? Cool. I know I talked a little bit about the weather before, but here's some more specifics. Due of its high elevation climate, Weather at Bryce Canyon through autumn, winter, and spring can be highly variable. From October to May, temperatures fall below freezing nearly every night. The park typically experiences its coldest and snowiest periods from December through February. Spring storms in March and April can still produce heavy snowfall that may impact travel in the region. Summer highs are typically in the 70s and 80s in terms of Fahrenheit. That's pretty nice, actually. And afternoon thunderstorms are common in July and August. We really didn't experience a thunderstorm per se. We heard thunder, saw a little bit of lightning in the distance when we went there, but it wasn't really too bad whatsoever.
That looks good. Windswept hair. Beautiful. Thank you.
Except for this is the Medusa windswept look. Isn't the windswept like going the other way?
I like when I record things like this.
You recorded that?
Yes. Back to the tour. So hey, check this out. Bryce Canyon has one main 18-mile road that runs north-south through the park. Most visitors will first be looking for views of the Bryce Amphitheater, found along the first 3 miles of the road. Here one finds the 4 most popular overlooks in the park: Bryce Point, Inspiration Point, Sunset Point, and Sunrise Point. I wonder if they have a point. Anyway, these viewpoints are also trailheads for some of the park's most popular trails. For example, both Sunset and Sunrise Points are trailheads for the popular 2.9 Queens Navajo Combination Loop. This area is best for those visiting 1 to 3 hours. Longer visits often include a trip down the full length of the main road, known as the Southern Scenic Drive, to Rainbow Point, Natural Bridge, and other viewpoints. Visitors typically travel the full length of the road to Rainbow and Yavapai points, and then stop at viewpoints on the way back. So do y'all want to find out what it costs to go into the park? Well, what do you think? All right, fine, I'll tell you, I'll summarize it. So for a private vehicle, which is a 15 passenger capacity or less, it's going to be $35, but that's valid for a week, 7 days, which is a week, Anyway, and then if you want to go in with your bike, or for hikers and or just pedestrians, it's $20, again, also valid for a week. Motorcycles are $30 for a week, and all 3 of those I just mentioned, private vehicle, a bicyclist, hiker, walker, or motorcyclists, those all have or include unlimited use of the shuttle during the shuttle's operating season. So while we're all visiting a national park, looking at some awesome scenery, I know some of us might be thinking, hey, what about internet and cell use? What about some Wi-Fi? Anyway, free public Wi-Fi is provided at the Park Visitor Center. Cellular access will vary widely between carriers across different areas of the park. Generally, the Visitor Center and Bryce Amphitheater viewpoints provide adequate signal for calls and texts. Well, there you go. Now, I know I gave you a few dates earlier, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about some history with this. So, Bryce Canyon National Monument, administered by the U.S. Forest Service, was originally established on June 8, 1923, to preserve the unusual scenic beauty, scientific interest, and importance, again quoted back in 1923. On June 7, 1924, the monument's name was changed to Utah's National Park, and it was transferred to the National Park Service. Now, on February 25, 1928, Utah National Park was changed to Bryce Canyon National Park, and subsequent legislation enlarged the park to its current size of 35,835 acres. Pretty big. Feel free to ignore the smooching. Just look at the scenery behind us. So check out this nice fact. The ponderosa pines, high elevation meadows, and fir spruce forests border the rim of the plateau and abound with wildlife. This area boasts some of the world's best air quality, offering panoramic views of 3 states and approaching 200 miles of visibility. This, coupled with the lack of nearby large light sources, creates unparalleled opportunities for stargazing. At many points along the park's trails, there are no handrails. So yes, as it says, be careful. As you can see, it's not a small drop-off. It is one of those yahoo-hoo-wee, or whatever the sound that Goofy makes when he falls a long distance. You know what I'm talking about, right? A recent archaeological survey of Bryce Canyon National Park shows that people have been marveling at Bryce's hoodoos for at least 10,000 years. It is suspected that throughout history, just as today, most people were just passing through. So how many people do pass through here? Well, today, 1.5 million people come each year to see this little park with enormous appeal. By the way, with all the research I've been doing, looking online at the history, it looks like most of the improvements and most of the trails, like 4.5 miles of foot and horse trails, were all basically created in the early 1930s. Yes, you heard me right, the early 1930s. Even though we know that Bryce Canyon was created, as most national parks were created, many, and I could say it many times, many years ago, I'm sure that the animals and the species around then might be a little bit different than what we have now at the park, for example. So what do we got? What kind of furry attractions do we have at Bryce Canyon? Well, Bryce Canyon is home to 59 species of mammals. Not just birds and the other creatures, but just mammals themselves. 59 species. So we got some mule deer, gold-mantled ground squirrels. Oh, I saw some squirrels. We all saw some squirrels, especially the little fat guy. Utah prairie dogs, pronghorn, the Uinta chipmunk, and mountain lions. Yeah, we didn't see mountain lions, which is a good thing, actually. We did see a couple of little cute chipmunks, but anyway. Also, please remember that it is a violation of federal law to feed any wildlife in the park and surrounding areas. Be mindful that some of these animals may be seen on or near the roads and trails and should not be approached, as they may be dangerous. I don't know about the little squirrels and chipmunks, mind you, but probably a mountain lion is one you don't want to approach, okay? Just a thought. Sort of like if you visit Yellowstone and, you see like a bison or a buffalo, you don't want to approach it. It's just an idea. Don't approach the little buffalo. Besides mammals, let's talk about insects at Bryce Canyon. Yeah. They have butterflies and moths and other insects. Speaking of other insects, that was strange. Yeah, I have no idea what that insect was. Very loud, and there were a number of those flying around before, but at the time I filmed, it was just that one hanging around with us. So what about the birds? 175 different species of birds have been documented to frequent Bryce Canyon National Park. Just 175 different species, mind you. Some are just passing through. Others stay for an entire season. Fewer still make this their year-round home, but those that do are charming and charismatic. Some of the more common and charismatic species are like the Steller's jay, the raven, which are very cool by the way, chickadees, those little cute little birds, swallows, falcons, a Townsend solitaire, not the card game, but an actual bird, bluebirds, golden eagles, yes, a golden eagle, a dark-eyed junco, and a western tanager. Those are pretty much the birds that are all yellow except like their face is a little bit orange. So what other creatures live in Bryce Canyon? Are you seeking the slimy and scaly? Well, being a cold and high altitude park, Bryce Canyon is not the best habitat for reptiles and amphibians. However, 11 species of reptiles and 4 species of amphibians can be found at Bryce. Bryce has 2 types of lizards, a striped whipsnake, a tiger salamander, and, a rattlesnake. Yeah, they have rattlesnakes too. Don't worry too much about rattlesnakes, by the way. I mean, if the ravens don't get at them, they're hardly ever seen, and they only prefer to use venom on small creatures like mice and other rodents for themselves, for their food. They're not going to waste their precious venom on a defensive bite. So that means, protect yourself and them by leaving rattlesnakes alone if you see one. Want something tough to find? Try to find my wife and daughter.
Gary, Carly. Right here.
While we were wandering along the trail in the upper rim there, we really didn't notice anything in terms of our breath, in terms of being harder to breathe, you know what I mean? Yet the elevation is just under 8,000 feet above sea level. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool that we're okay with breathing in terms of we didn't really feel anything. So how did we get to Bryce Canyon? Now, our family came from Wisconsin, so, I took the train and with my brother-in-law and my wife and kids, they took the airplane. Anyway, the closest major airports are in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Salt Lake City, Utah, each being approximately 270 miles from the park. Now, my family has never been to Las Vegas, so that was more convenient for us. So we made it to Las Vegas, and that was a good place to visit. Again, keyword there is visit. No, we would never live there because, let's just say that place is different, and that's putting it nicely. Las Vegas is fun, yes, but odd. Now, there are smaller airports, one in Cedar City, Utah, which is about 80 miles from the park, and one in St. George, Utah, which is 125 miles from the park. But either way, like I said, we never went to Vegas, and we thought, this would be fun, let's just do Vegas. We stayed overnight in Vegas too, by the way. And again, it was cool, it was fun, but something that we would do again if we had more money to maybe watch some shows. This right here is inside one of the visitation centers and or souvenir shops. Had some really cool stuff here, and we found some fun souvenirs as well. And now we're making our way to one of the coolest areas inside Bryce Canyon. Besides the hoodoos that we looked at right in the beginning of this video, we're making our way to, as you can see, a place that has just some awesome scenery, as you can see. The trail we're about to take, it actually reminded me of back in the day when I visited Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, that is if you went to Carlsbad Caverns as well. So there's an area that winds back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, down, 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 down. Anyway, you'll see it when you see it. It's so freaking cool. So Wall Street is actually at the top as you'll see walking down, and you can see where we're going right now. It's in that little hole in the rock right there. That is where Wall Street is, okay? If you look then down and look at the winding area right there, you can see what I'm talking about. The entrance to Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico is very similar to this, except the fact that you're going literally down, down, down underground in like a giant cave with some bats. But hey, whatever. There's bats there, rattlesnakes here. It's all good. Here are some more pics of the fam. You got my son right there. And the next is my sister, Peggy. Hi, Peggy. And then my daughter. Hi. And there's Wall Street. And then there's a wall. Just a wall. So here we go, our trek down this winding trail. Obviously, you can now see that we are literally inside Bryce Canyon, inside the canyon. Wouldn't you love to just stay overnight in Bryce Canyon? Wouldn't that be cool? Well, it's possible actually, with camping. There are 2 developed campgrounds within Bryce Canyon National Park. Backcountry camping permits are available in person on a first-come, first-served basis. So what do they got? They have the North Campground, which has an RV site without any hookups available, by the way, for $30, or a tent site for $20. Now that is per night, just so you know. They also have the Sunset Campground, which also has an RV site, no hookups available, $30 a night, and tent site, $20 a night. Now, the Sunset Campground also has a group site. You can have a minimum of 7 people with a maximum of 30 people. Okay, so yes. So, basically, the lowest amount is 7 to 10 people for $55 per night, per site. And for 26 to 30 people, $100 per night, per site. However, if you are a senior and have an access pass, you receive 50% discount at all the campgrounds. So that's pretty sweet. I see my daughter found another hole in the wall, or you know what I mean, a very tiny tunnel to another area, but hey, that's cool. So I try to have some fun with my camera. Yes, that is her right arm. And yes, that is me. And then me again with, I don't know what happened with the camera. And there's my wife with the guy in the background saying, "Oh, sorry." That was so funny. There's a small tunnel we just went through. And here we go again. Down, down, down. These two pictures are not using any circular lens on this camera phone. I say camera phone because I'm using my camera on my phone, which is a Samsung S10 by the way. Hey, and there's a little chipmunk. Very cute little guy. Or it could be a girl chipmunk, I don't know, I'm sorry. I won't bother to ask. Well, we caught up to my son and my sister. Well, actually, we didn't catch up to them. They just basically stopped and sat down and waited for us, which is very nice of them. Thank you, I appreciated that.
I think if the rocks caved in right now, they wouldn't find us. Okay. Let's just, hope for the best.
It was interesting at this point finding steps going down. I guess, or going up depending on what direction you're going. The weirdest thing about this area is the fact that where we are, all of a sudden there are trees right here where we are.
You know what it feels like? It feels like wood. Hear me?
What?
I said what this feels like. Feels like wood.
Go figure. I wonder why.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, Robert ain't going to be there.
Robert went to the left. Hello.
So my son naturally wanted to climb up in this area, which is cool. And so then, of course, the rest of the family had to go and try to get up there as well. Look at that shot. That is so freaking cool. Yeah, hi. That is me climbing up now to get my wife down. She made it up, but now she needed help getting down, which is fine. As a matter of fact, she works out more than I do, and I run between 2.5 to 5 miles every day. Do you realize that you've now made it through a half an hour of this video? Let's just sit back and relax and enjoy the scenery. Sometimes there will be some live audio I bring in from when we were there. But I wish you were here too, wish you were there as well. If you have not been there yet, please make it a point to go.
Is that Robert all the way up to the top already?
Yes.
That is
I
so
wave to
unfair.
him. Yo.